Now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon, everyone in webinar world. This is Chris, your favorite webinar presenter, along with your even more favorite presenter, Jackie and
Hey
Sandra.
everyone.
We-
Hi.
Sandra will be handling all questions on Twitter, so feel free to, answer. Well, once she finishes her lunch, she's saying. But anyway, these are our beautiful faces. Jackie, our marketing manager, Sandra, our program director, and me, Chris. I'm the marketing coordinator. And today's webinar, like all others, I'm just going to answer some frequently asked questions right off the bat, including will there be Q&A after the webinar? Yes, there will be. And will you get a copy of the slides after the webinar? Yes. And how do you ask a question? You can type it into GoToWebinar, or like I just said, you can tweet us at Pinfotech, and Sandra will answer your tweets. So today's topic is, as you could tell by the slide that I just skipped, was how to post on social media like a champ. And what we will learn today is how to create and schedule your posts on social media, how to understand social media analytics and reports, how to use free tools to curate content for your posts, and simple tips on how to quickly grow your follower counts. So we're going to be all smart apples as shown in this slide, and we're going to jump right in, starting off with how to schedule posts. And if you're not familiar already with Facebook, you should get one. And once you do get one, you want to make sure that you're logged into a business page. You create a business page, attach it to your personal page, which we've gone over in Social Media 101. Today's the sequel webinar, so we're going to show you the analytics and how to schedule your Facebook posts, which will make it easier. You'll have more time to do what you want in life instead of pausing in the middle of the day and saying, oh, I got to post something on Facebook. What do I do? We're hoping that after you watch this webinar, you can just figure out, based on our suggestions, what you want to post and when, and schedule it all out the week before, and then make changes on the fly as, trending topics come up. But once we go through all this, you'll be super excited. And like I said, once you're logged into your Facebook business page, you just confirm by checking your profile picture right here. And if it says your name, then you're probably logged into your personal account. So you don't want to start posting things until you get into your business account. So you just click on the down arrow and use Facebook Ads, choose your business page, and then confirm, right here, it'll say your business account or your business logo. So now that you're logged in, we're going to make it easier to make all these posts. And in order to do that, you just type your message like you normally would, and you click publish right here in the blue button. There's a drop-down menu that says schedule, and you click on that, and a new window will show up that shows a time and date, and then you just choose, and you just hit schedule, and it's as simple as that. In case you didn't know how to do this, like I said in Webinar 101, well, now you know. So that brings us to what does everybody know what time it is? Poll
Full
time!
time.
That's right.
Thanks, everyone. So, as Chris just mentioned, you can typically, post out and schedule things. That way you don't have to always be right then and there to do it. So we're going to launch our first poll of the day, and we just kind of want to better understand, how do you typically post on social media? Do you typically do it in the given moment? So let's say you've got 5 minutes to spare and you want to do something on social media, and so you write your post then and there. Or do you usually, dedicate maybe an hour or 2 hours each week and say, I'm going to take care of all of my social media posts for the following week? Or maybe you do a little bit of both. Maybe you plan it out ahead of time, and then if there's like Chris mentioned, a hot new trend that day, you go ahead and send something that's relevant in that given moment. So going to give it a few more seconds. Looks like about 50% of you post in a given moment, about 15% schedule posts in advance, and about 34% of you do both, which is great. So I know we've got a lot of great tips coming your way in the rest of this webinar to show you how to post individually as well as schedule it and how you can make the best of both. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll. share some of the results so everyone can kind of see where they fall. Again, we ended up with 53% post in a given moment, 15 schedule, and 32% both. So thanks everyone for participating. Chris, back to you.
Awesome, Jackie. So that was pretty cool. A third of you already do schedule posts, but for those of you who do not, now you know how. And we're going to make it even easier for you. Well, actually, it's pretty easy already with Facebook, let's be real, but it's going to be even more convenient with this tool that we use. It's called Buffer, and it allows you to post on social media for all accounts simultaneously. So all you have to do is go to bufferapp.com. So actually what I recommend is if you don't already have Chrome, it is a browser that will be most compatible with Buffer. So, if you don't already have Chrome, then go to google.com/Chrome, download it. It's so much better than Explorer, as if you need, persuasion. So step 2, once you have Chrome, you install the Buffer extension. It's basically like an app on your phone. You go to buffer.com/extensions and get that. And then you're good to go. And what Buffer is going to do is it will help, it's a tool that will help you. Once you find an article that you want to post on social media, you can just schedule it automatically, even from the source of the article. Like here, I found a BuzzFeed article, and let's say I wanted to post it on social media. All you have to do is click on the top right-hand corner. This Stack of Pancakes logo is Buffer. So you click on that extension, and a window will show up, and it'll look like this. And right here, the tab that's open is called Simple Composer. And what you do here is you type in your message. Usually one pre-populates for Twitter, LinkedIn, and Google+, and that will show on the top. And then on the bottom, although I entered something here, it's actually blank normally because Facebook's policy requires all text that's shared to the app is input by users individually and not pre-filled by an app like Buffer. So I actually just filled in what I would want to type on Facebook here, but normally, again, like I said, this is blank. So if you want to post something on Facebook and on Twitter and Google+ and LinkedIn, fill in both fields, and then you click Add to Queue. And then a new window will show up and say, for each social media platform, when do you want to schedule this post? So you could say, well, on Facebook, I want the message that I specifically chose for Facebook to appear in a day. And then the other message that goes into LinkedIn or Google+ or Twitter, which you can also change. You decide when you want to post that. So you can say, I want this now, or you want it in 7 hours, or you can customize it by choosing add another. So that's how easy it is to do that. And then you just check your post once you do schedule it. You want to check that it's correct on social media. So you just go to your page, and if it looks good, then you're a happy clam. And that is how you schedule posts like a boss. So we're all going to be bosses of our own destiny, and that's what we're doing with these tools. So now that I've shown you how to schedule posts, you already know what what time works best for you. So what do you post now? In order to determine what you want to post, you have to understand your analytics. And that brings us to our next poll. So take it away, Jackie.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, everyone, for your participation. We're going to be doing polls throughout today's webinar, so keep on the eye out for them. So our next question of the day is, how often do you check your Facebook analytics? So as Chris, I'm sure, is going to get into it in depth, analytics is a huge part of how to post like a champ on social media. Because like you said, once you know the ideal times, well, how do you know what your audience really wants? Do they want, fun and quirky entertainment content? Do they want tips and tricks about insurance? So checking your analytics and seeing what types of content people engage with and how your posts are performing is a great way to hone in your content better so that it resonates with your audience even more. So I'm going to give a few more seconds. Looks like about 50% of you never check your Facebook analytics, so hopefully we can sway you over to the side of the light of analytics. 17% right now say daily, which is awesome. 20% weekly, about 10% monthly, and 3% or 2% quarterly or yearly. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll and share the results with everyone.
Oh, crazy.
And Yeah, so hopefully, again, like I said, we can help convince those that do it never in the next coming slide. So back to you, Chris. Thanks so much, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie, and everyone for answering those questions. So, now that, like I said, we're understanding analytics for the first time, I'm going to break down how analytics looks on Facebook and Twitter. And it all starts once, again, you're logged into your business account. You choose Insights, which is a tab right here, and it will display an overview, which appears here, and it's highlighted, and it shows everything about these analytics and so much more. So we're going to go little by little into each section, starting with page likes, which, if you don't already know, it's just whatever you like on someone's Facebook, you click like, and that will show up on your news feed and your all of your followers and your friends' news feeds as well as the page that you liked. So the business account manager of that Facebook page will see whoever liked, and that will affirm that it's a awesome post. So it's as simple as that. It'll just show you how many new likes you have for your page in general, and then a little bit later I'll show you the posts themselves and the likes that they generate. And then post reach is just the number of people who have seen your post. So it's, it just accounts for every time that you're reaching out to someone that it shows in their news feed, that counts as a post reach. And it shows for the first 28 days. So it's not going to overwhelm you with data. It just tells you, for the past 30 days, are you on the upswing, or are you, not reaching enough audience members that you would like? And that will tell you. And as simple as that, it'll show a little gray line that showed last week compared to this week. So obviously this week we were amazing. So we want to keep doing what was working for us this week, and it just shows by those lines. Then engagement rate is the percentage of people who saw posts that you liked, shared, clicked on, or commented. So it's similar to post reach, but it's more specific to who actually remarks on that post by clicking on it, by commenting on it, by liking it, by sharing it. This goes into more explanation as to what that post generated as far as a reaction. So, that was the overview. Then we go into the likes themselves. It shows another chart as far as the total likes right here. A little above that, you choose a slider and you can narrow it down to whatever week or month or months or weeks that you want to look at. And then down here is your net likes and net or unlikes. Unlikes are pink, likes are bluish gray. You want to see a lot more bluish gray. And then here, like I just mentioned, shows on a day-to-day basis who's liking your page. So let's say July 28th, 5 people liked a page. There must have been something good happening. Or even, the day before, people were sharing it. So you want to look around that time and see what generated the most attention for your page, and then do more of that. And then reach, like I just told you, it's how many people it reaches out to, and it appears in their news feeds. So, any spikes, you want to continue that habit or experiment and see if the spike gets even bigger. And visits shows you who's engaging on your timeline in blue, who clicks on the photo tab, who clicks on the info tab, which will show your address, your phone number, and whatnot, and then reviews in yellow. So that's pretty basic. Posts, it's similar to the, it shows up in the overview, but down below you'll see exactly what you posted and the reach and the engagement with the likes, the comments, the shares. And this is a little easier to understand seeing it all at once and comparing, apples to apples. Like, you probably want to do something, close to what happened on October 26th, because look, it got over 1,000 organic reach. Maybe you want to do less of what happened on October 21st because it only reached, 600 people. So once you understand that, you can see what types of posts give the most, engagement for your page. And then you can see in the post section over time who is coming to your page and at what times they're actually there on Facebook, so you know when to schedule these posts. Let's say, this shows the whole week, and this will show a comparison of Wednesday compared to the rest of the weeks. So on Wednesday, more people are active on Facebook around noon, so you probably want to schedule your posts around then, and you don't want to schedule so much on Wednesdays around 6 a.m. But that's just us. You have to check what works for you. And if we have any questions on Twitter, I might want to check on that. It looks like Sandra has something to say.
There's two things. Sorry if you're having any technical difficulties. I know some of you are either not hearing us or not seeing the slides. So just wanted to let you know that Chris will be emailing the video of the webinar out, so you'll be able to hear the sound and see the slides. And Chris, a few people asked, how did you get to this Insights page? Do you mind just kind of showing them? I had two.
Oh, sure. I'll go back a little bit, but basically you just want to log into your business account page, and then you'll see let me go back. You'll see a drop down, or you log into your business page by clicking this drop down menu, and you choose your business page. Then it'll usually show in gray, or sometimes it'll just show in blue if you have like a business page compared to 3 or 4. And then you choose Insights right here, and that will bring you to this overview right here. And looks like we got the thumbs up, so that is a sufficient answer. Thank you, Sandra, for covering that. And thank you as well if if you're experiencing audio difficulty or slide viewing difficulty. We will, like Sandra said, we'll remedy that by showing you the recording and the webinar deck right after the webinar. Continuing from where we left off, this tab will show you the post types, and it'll show you what generates the most interest. So photos, they get the most reach, and they also get the most post clicks and likes by a hair. So we obviously want to keep showing posts that are photos. That doesn't mean that they just have to be a picture of like a puppy playing in a sprinkler. It can be a picture of an ad that you create or something. So people still are engaged by the photo, but you also have a little more explanation in your post for your business. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone that way, instead of just posting a link or a status, which looks like not that many people are interested in compared to photos. So just do the photo if that works for your audience. And then down below is the last tab for people. It'll show you your fans right here in the demographics. So for us, it's 25 to 34. So a youthful audience would mean, well, I'm young, so I know what I like and what people my age like. So I'm going to be more apt to post those sort of things on Facebook. And for men versus women, well, you can decide what you think men would like more than what women would like. So that's in your court. And then right here, people reached is not just who likes your page, but who sees your page. And it's pretty much 50-50 as far as women and men go here. And again, we're killing it in the demographic for 25 to 34. So having more, trending topics that, young people are, they stay on top of. Posting those sort of things will resonate more with them, so we're going to continue that habit. And then for Twitter, it's very similar to Facebook, and I have fewer slides as to not overwhelm you, but it's very similar. You log in by clicking the profile pic, and you just choose Analytics. And then you see your tweet activity, and like I said, it looks very similar to the overview on Facebook and has a lot of the same terminology. This is the Tweets tab. You can move over to Audiences, which we're going to do right now. And then it breaks down into more detail that I think is interesting on Twitter. It actually shows you, according to a couple of Twitter business partners who collect data, they actually show the interests of your followers, the majority of ours are interested in business and news, then technology, and I guess a few people are interested in movie news as well. So you have more of an idea of what you want to post because that's what the interests are of your followers. And then again, it breaks down by gender as well as household income, which, depending on your trade, if you're an insurance agent, then you want to know what your audience's income is, especially for health insurance. There are subsidies that certain demographic, certain income levels qualify for. So you'd be able to pitch, better to them to certain income levels according to the data here, if you just understand who your audience is. And then down below, it shows occupation, even consumer buying styles. And I had to, I was really curious by what they meant by ethnic explorers. I was like, what does that mean? And it actually just means that they're curious in, random food, like from India or, Thai food or what have you. That's kind of random for us, but it actually just shows you something you didn't know. And then it also breaks down, their education level and home ownership, which may help you when you're selling homeowners insurance. So that's pretty awesome. And then that takes care of the analytics. I mean, we're flying through this. This brings us to our third out of 4 chapters, how to use tools to curate content. And what we're going to do now is show you a live demo. And we're going to pass the ball to Jackie. And there it is, Jackie. Here's the ball.
Thank you, Chris. So let me get this all queued up real quickly, everyone. So pardon the sliding of the controlling rights right now, but basically, as Chris said, we are going to be showing you how to curate posts. So this, I think, is a really helpful tool. Hopefully you all can see my screen now. Let me just double check. Perfect. Cool. Follow my Twitter page. All right, so this is Feedly. You just go to feedly.com. It is a free tool. It can definitely help you with curating content. So that way, rather than spending hours scouring the internet trying to find articles that you want to talk about, or share with your audiences. The great thing about Feedly is you can subscribe to different publications that post content on a blog post or RSS feed at least, and then it's all curated into one spot. So rather than spending 2 hours looking for something to post, now you can just check in for 5 minutes, easily skim through various articles and different topics and categories, find the one you want, and then go ahead and post it to Buffer. And I'll actually walk you through how Feedly and Buffer, which Chris was talking about earlier, which, just to reiterate, is a free service, integrates nice with each other, Feedly and Buffer, and then it can definitely alleviate any headaches with trying to figure out what to post and how to post it seamlessly to all of your social media channels. So this right here is my Feedly. So I have categories for advertising, inspiration, online marketing tips and tricks, small business marketing, as well as tech, because we are in the tech industry here at Pioneer Infotech, and then user experience. So you can go ahead and log in on feedly.com. You just go there, create yourself an account, and then you'll see a page similar to this. They'll probably give you some recommendations of some publications that you want to follow. But if you have some in general that you want to get content from, then you can go ahead and do an easy search. And how we can do that, so let's say right now I don't really have anything that's related to insurance, but maybe I want to. So let's just pretend I'm starting from scratch. So if you want something, just for example, let's say you're really into photography or food or business or marketing or tech, whatever, you can just click on some of these perspective categories, and then they'll give you some publications to follow that are highly recommended. So let's go ahead and go back and say I want to add the Insurance Journal because I think that they are great at sharing news that is timely within the insurance industry. So I just type it in up here in the search bar, and then here it is, lo and behold, the site for the Insurance Journal. So you click on it, and then what you'll see is some of their most recent popular posts that they've done today, and the history of like later in the week, and so on and so forth. The longer you scroll, it'll tell you how many readers there are. And let's say I want to add it to my Feedly categories, which are shown again on the left-hand side. All you have to do is click this green button right up here that says plus Feedly, and then a little sidebar will pop up, and it'll say, this is the title, Insurance Journal News. Where do I want to add it? Now, the great thing about Feedly is it kind of already knows the types of categories that the content you're going to be curating is from. So, as you noticed before, I didn't have an insurance collection. That's what they call their categories. So what Feedly did, as smart as it is it created its own category for insurance. And all I have to do is click Add. And then when you scroll down here, there it is. So now that you know how to add a publication or resource into your Feedly, let's say you're ready to post content to your social media channels and you want to integrate through Buffer. So let's find an article of something that we want to post today. Okay. Workers' compensation insurance posted today. Looks like it's a hot item. It was posted 33 minutes ago. Sometimes with hot posts, they put a little like fire button on here, so that way you know this topic is really trending. A lot of people are sharing it, are reading it, so that can kind of be an indication to you guys as well as what kind of content to post and curate. So I found it. I like to skim it a little bit, but then you click through again on the title and it takes you to the full article on their site. I always recommend reading through it. You obviously don't have to read word for word, but it's always good to skim through articles before you decide to buffer and post them on social media. That way you can make sure that there's nothing controversial or in jeopardy of compliance purposes. So let's just say, for example's sake, that this one pans out and it's safe to post. So like Chris said, if you integrate with Buffer on Google Chrome, you have this nice little icon. So I just have to click it. And it's going to do its thing. And here's a simple composer. I'm going to select that I want this only on my Facebook business page. And then what am I going to share? So like Chris said, and it's always like a good rule of thumb no matter what platform you're posting on. Buffer will typically do a little snippet of what a summary of the article is, but it's always good to write your own little blurb right before it. That way you're speaking directly to your audience and they know, okay, this person isn't just regurgitating content on the internet, they're actually putting their own spin on it. So just for a quick example, I might say, let's see, hashtag workers, comp, let's see, what to say. Anyways, you get the point. So basically, you would just then, obviously you'd have something more catchy than this, but I can't think under the gun right now, so you would just add it to your queue, and then from there, if you log into your Buffer after that, suppose reconnect, and now once we do that, which if I go back, you can see that it got put into my Buffer account, and basically now it's going to be scheduled to go out tomorrow because that's the schedule that I have for my Buffer. So real quickly, while I'm in Buffer, I can show you this. Basically, one of the big benefits and the reasons why we use Buffer ourselves here at our marketing team is because you can easily schedule around posts. So if, let's say, I had 5 more posts down below this, I could just drag and drop things in the order that I want to. And another great thing is it can show you analytics. So you can look back. So not only will you see analytics on your business page, but you can also see analytics here too. And you can see which one was your top posts, and you can repost or rebuffer those as well from the Buffer platform. So again, how to curate content. First recommendation is to create a free Feedly account. From there, you can add all the publications that you want just by searching for them and then finding the site and then pressing that green little plus Feedly button to add them into a specific collection or category. Then once you find an article that you want, click through to the original site where the article is posted, read through it, make sure it's compliant, make sure there's nothing super controversial in it. And then now that you would have had your little buffer extension, you can go ahead and buffer an article, and then it will show up in your queue of content. Again, real quickly with Buffer, you can set schedules here as well. It's a free tool. We love using Buffer. It saves our lives rather than going into each individual platform. But enough about me shamelessly plugging Buffer and Feedly. I'm going to hand it back to Chris to go through the rest of the webinar.
Awesome. Thank you, Jackie. That was very cool. And, we know that demos are super interesting to watch compared to a bunch of slides of your Facebook analytics. So, depending on your comments, what you have to say about our webinars, we'll do more live demos if that's easier to learn that way for you. If not, we'll continue the traditional, slides and screen grabs of each section of analytics so you can, digest it at your own pace. But speaking of screens, we're back to mine, and we're going to wrap up this webinar. Thank you again for the Feedly demo. And finishing this off, we're going to show you your quick tips to grow your followers, and then we're going to go to Q&A. So, tap the brakes, Chris. It's poll time. So we got a new poll, and I'm going to pass the ball back to Jackie.
Thanks, Chris. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our third poll of the day. Do you have a social media content calendar for your business? So we talked about scheduling, we talked about how to curate content, but how do you keep track of all of that? So if you wouldn't mind answering, we here at Pioneer Infotech have a content calendar, not only for social media, but for everything we do from a content standpoint. It really helps us stay on track. So it looks like 14% of you do, so that's awesome. About 62% of you have not yet, so hopefully we'll shed some light on the importance and benefits that a social media content calendar can have. 9% aren't sure, and 16% are not even sure of what a content calendar is. So hopefully we can, again, shed some light. We really think that a content calendar will be super helpful for all of you today. So go ahead and take it away, Chris.
Awesome. Thanks again. So the content calendar is very easy to understand. It's just a calendar that you choose what content you want to post on what day. And this is just an example of what we've used. And you don't need to follow this to a T. You can break the formula, think outside the box. There's a PDF that Jackie has presented on GoToWebinar that you will be able to download, and it has a template for each month for the coming months, and you can choose what content you want to post on what day of the week. But again, this is just our parameters. This is a suggestion. For Mondays, we choose certain things like Monday motivation. Saturdays and Sundays, we don't expect our audience to not have a life. We want them to be out there in the world enjoying themselves. So we may not post as many promotional material, and we may just have fluffy things like lifestyle or wildcard, which we'll go into. But overall, what we use as a basis of our content calendar is the 80-20 rule. That's a general marketing quote-unquote rule, but it's basically 80% of your posts are entertaining and informative content, and 20% are promotional content, because if you're following business pages, you don't want to be overwhelmed by just promotional content all the time. You want to have some breaths of fresh air. So some, even major companies just post random viral videos that may have to do with their industry but may not be straight up promotional material, and that's just to keep their followers following them. So that's what we like to do. And this is a breakdown for each day, just some examples of what we do. For Monday, we like to call it Motivation Monday. You may see hashtag Motivation Monday on social media, and that's because it's very effective. So we choose to make our branded photos, we choose inspirational quotes, and we choose life hacks because that's motivational. We do that for Mondays just to ease people into the week without overwhelming them with like a blog from the company that they just are not in the mood for because they just got off the weekend. Tuesdays, we like to do more of Tips Tuesdays. So we would actually post a blog on a tip, let's say, product, industry, trends, news, all these things can be tips for your industry. So we're a tech company, so we want to tell people like what cool tech things they want to do, like they can turn videos into animated GIFs. So we shared a link with that, and we did so by using the tools that Jackie and I have shown you, like Feedly, to discover this topic in the first place, and then Buffer to automatically schedule the post whenever we want. Wednesdays, we use viral humor. It's hump day, so people are, over that hump in the week, and they want some, breath of fresh air. So we do animated GIFs or memes or videos like viral videos. And a meme we covered in some of our blogs and some of our webinars is just like a, viral picture that usually has this impact font. It's easy to recognize once you see a lot of these pictures. You'll see, oh, that's a meme. So that's what we do for Wednesdays. Thursdays, we give a shout out to our clients, to our agents. And if you're listening, these are some of you people. And then we also mention our partners that we work with, or just tools that we like to use, like Buffer. We've mentioned Canva in some of our webinars. So we gave a shout out to Canva one time. They loved it, so they emailed us. We shared the email because we just want, a positive relationship. So you want to maintain that online by having a scheduled day for your own partners and your customers and clients. And then for Fridays, let's be real. It's the end of the week, so we're going to have fun, but we're still going to make sense of our posts. So we have office behind the scenes or employee highlights or fun Fridays. So again, we might have a meme, but we also will share what's been going on in the office for the week. So, our boss showed up as Darth Vader. That's pretty remarkable, so why not share it? And then Sandra was a ghost, so why not share that? And Jackie was a witch, and Chris was an anime character that everyone knew off the top of their head, and he did not have to explain his costume. And again, Saturday and Sunday, doesn't need to be throwaway days, but we see by our analytics that fewer people are actually paying attention to these pages. So we want to save the best material for the weekdays and then have relevant content that's still educational and informative on the weekends, but we have more things like, health and wellness and things that may not be specific exactly to our industry so much for the rest of the week that we want to share it. We want to save it for the weekends. So that's what you want to do, is create a content calendar. What you don't want to do, and we've had this question brought to us a bunch of times, is you don't want to buy likes or buy your audience. I call it fake book, and fake likes can be purchased on different websites. You may get emails from people saying, do you want to buy likes? And you may think that that's going to look good. The number of likes may be an indicator of your business's success, but actually, if you have a fake number of likes, sure, your audience may not know that, but Facebook will know that. And they determine how often your posts show up on news feeds by an algorithm that, measures your page likes to your page engagement. So if it's, a number of fake likes, and let's say it's 3,000 fake likes, but you have an engagement rate of like 2 people liking things a day, Facebook's going to think that your page isn't that, high quality, and they're not going to show it in your followers' news feed so often. So don't give in to the fake likes. Don't buy fake likes or followers, because it's actually going to hurt you in the long run, and your post will not show up so much on people's news feeds. So what's the point of that? So just to wrap it up, and we're going to go to Q&A right after this. We have best practices. We've mentioned this in a previous webinar, but we're just going to share it again because a lot of people ask so much about it, is we've found that frequency and posting times for Facebook maybe once to twice a day, Twitter 3 posts a day because, they have a shorter lifespan. There's so many tweets that you can make, and so many people do tweet all the time, and it's such a short post in the first place that you can just go and have fun and post like 3 times as many posts on Twitter than you want on Facebook. And then 1 post per day on Google and LinkedIn. Your ideal post length should be fewer than 80 characters. It doesn't have to be, but we've found the engagement rate is higher when there are fewer characters. And engaging content such as relevant news and blogs, your office events, your entertaining and educational content, that is going to get you a higher engagement rate. And you want to stay positive in your posts, obviously, and in life in general. And you want to follow the 80-20 rule, which is post your content that's 80% fun and educational, and then 20% promotional. And then once you have memorized that, you want to have a social media account checklist, such as just completing all the fields on all your social media accounts, like updating your profile and cover photos so you don't have, winter photos in July or vice versa, or something that says like, happy 2012, and it's like, okay, let's be real. So you also want to update your about description. You want to create a content calendar like we just showed you, and customize your page call to action button, which is a like button. You can actually customize that to say other things, and yada yada. Update your, include your website link and add some photos and videos. Very basic, common sense things, but you just want to make sure that you cover everything. So we have a checklist, and that is the last poll time we're going to have. Poll time. Back to you, Jackie.
Thank you, Chris. All right, everyone, like he said, this is our last poll of the day, and I promise there's a reason why we're asking. If you're participating in the basic marketing package, because although the tips and the tools that we've shared today are at no cost, they're free. Buffer is free, Feedly is free to use. If you are participating in the basic marketing package, you actually have Hearsay as well included within that, and Hearsay is the approved social media vendor, so we're going to be getting into Hearsay in a moment, but basically what we just wanted to share throughout today's webinar is whether you are or you're not, there are free tools out there on the web that you can use for your advantage and can definitely help streamline and help you with your social media so that you're posting like a champ. So I'm going to go ahead and give it like 2 more seconds for some last responses to come in. But again, thank you everyone for all your participation in today's polls. So here we go. I'm going to close it. Thanks everyone.
Awesome. Thank you. Like Jackie said, Hearsay, we have our obligatory slide for Hearsay. And you if you have any questions about them, you can email us at agentpage@farmersinsurance.com. And they, and we can help answer questions about Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Google+. And any questions we can't answer, well, we'd be surprised. So try to stump us. So what we learned today is how to create and schedule your posts on social media, how to understand social media analytics and reports, how to use free tools to curate content, and simple tips on how to quickly grow your follower accounts, such as the content calendar. So we're going to go to Q&A, and thank you for joining us too. If you have to run and you don't have any questions, we're not forgetting you. Thank you for showing up. And please tune in next time. But for all of you that do have questions, we're going to answer them right now. And I'm sure Sandra's already answered a ton on Twitter, so thanks for that. But any questions, let's answer them right now.
Hi, we've got one agent. John's asking whether or not Facebook boosts, like when you promote a post, if that's a good practice or not.
So paid advertisement, he's asking about the Facebook. Okay, yeah, that's great. I mean, we've done it. You just need to understand your analytics so you can choose what type of post and when you post and who the post is for before you just create, a Facebook promo account and just have Wild West time at it. You obviously want some understanding of what you're going to do before you go hog wild with this promotional Facebook opportunity. So I suggest using the analytics before you participate, because you'll have a better idea of who's actually going to react to this promotional material that you're going to pay for. But I think it's a great idea, and we've done it too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely depends on what your overall goal is. I think sometimes, it's nice to do like a little boost if you have something that's timely that you really want to get a lot of eyeballs on. But if you are, that alone can't be your only strategy for social media, because then it's just kind of like quick hits now and then. I think that peppering it in every now and then with a longer term strategy, like kind of the topics that we've talked about today and the tips and tricks shared, where you're posting organic content and organically growing your following and getting actual true people who are interested in learning more about you or your business and your page. I highly recommend, just kind of thinking about what your overall goal is and how boosting certain posts can play into your overall strategy. But like Chris said, we've done it in the past. We've done some paid advertising for our own posts as well. But from the day-to-day standpoint, we do post from an organic standpoint with content that is unique, and then can pepper it in every now and then with a post if we have something that's really important that we want to get the maximum eyeballs on in that given amount of time. But great question.
Yeah, that's good.
We're getting a lot of questions here.
Oh, man.
So a few people had questions about hearsay, and I guess I can chime in with that. So I believe Jackie, as she was mentioning before, if you're participating in agency marketing, hearsay is included in your package, so at no additional cost. Hearsay does have some features similar to what Buffer has, which is you can schedule posts out on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and your Google+. It also has, based on your current followers, when's the best time to post, so it looks at the, who's active during what time of day and when it's best to post. So that's one of the awesome things about Hearsay, though Buffer does have some cool add-on tools that I really like, where you can have it on your browser, so if you find an interesting article, you can just buffer it and submit it out. So each of these tools have different features and benefits. It's not kind of like, I know you're going, but it's apples and oranges, or they both look like apples. One of them's green and one of them's red. Which one do I go with? So it just depends. And a few of you asked questions about compliance and monitoring. So there are no visible eyes that are looking at these posts. If you're signed up through Hearsay, it is all bots. So they're looking for specific keywords. So for those of you who are in the financial world and you're talking about financial services, yes, those have to be looked at by individual eyes in the FFS arena, but if it's other content, nobody's looking at them, they're just looking for specific keywords. Just keep in mind of farmers branding, so farmers friendly voice. They, when you're positioning your agency, you can have your own unique brand, but you're also representing farmers as a whole. All right, let's see. A lot of people asked questions about like gaining likes and followers. If you had like tips about that, I don't know if we have anything necessarily on that.
Sure, yeah. I know Jackie's like, she can't wait to say this, but because she came up with the idea, she and I really like the idea of engaging your audience to like everything on your page and like your page in the first place, and then tell their friends and family to like your business page as much, and make a contest out of it so that there's an incentive in the office to get, who's going to get the most likes, and then there's a prize at the end, and it will sharply increase how many likes you get, but also it will, expand your organic reach so that you're not just doing it in the short term, you're doing it in the long term. Who knows, like your family or friends may hear about your job, but they may not, be that interested in the moment, but when they see what's going on Facebook, they see your office photos, they will continue following the page, and they already know you, so they're going to be more likely to like things, and all of those, positive reinforcements, all those positive reactions to your page will be beneficial to Facebook. They'll see your page is engaging, and they'll reward it with more, showing it more in your followers' news feeds. So it's a win-win. So definitely that's an awesome idea. That's the first one that came to mind. Do you have any other ones, Jackie?
Yeah, kind of like what Chris said, I think one of the biggest thing, like we covered, is you want to first start by obviously getting people to like your page, so inviting your family and friends, but then also you want to share content that people actually, find interesting, which is the whole point of why we talked about the content calendar. But I think another thing too is like the whole point of integrating your offline and online together. So you have a social media page, or maybe it's not just Facebook, maybe you have it on Twitter and LinkedIn and Google Plus, or maybe you're on Pinterest or Instagram as well. But how can you better integrate that with your offline efforts? So, I know for some of us, like we include our social media icons on our business cards. So whenever we do hand them out at events or we're speaking to agents, they know that they can find us online as well. You can put it on signage if you have a local sponsorship with any kind of schools or charities or local groups in your area. Feel free to go ahead and give those links as well. Or anytime that whether it's you do a print article or anything in the local newspaper or a local ad, you can always say check us out on Facebook or find us on Facebook. You can even create signage within your agency office as well that says, did you know we're on Facebook? Here's our like us today. So there's a lot of avenues that you can go towards growing your likes, not just online, but also integrating it offline. Another great thing that Chris kind of mentioned that you guys can do as well is with our staff, anytime that they talk to, any clients that we have, we always sometimes tell them, okay, well, towards the end, when you're wrapping up the call, let them know, hey, did you know we're on Facebook or we're on Twitter? We share tips and tricks on there as well. So encouraging your staff to, anytime that they're talking to prospects or insureds, let them know that you guys are on social media. It's just about using all the different channels that you guys have available to you, whether online or offline, to help spread the word. And actually, I can show you guys how to go ahead and share some of this stuff, like your page on from Facebook. So let me just take the presenter rights back. All right, so you should all be able to see our Facebook business page. So if you want to go ahead and share and grow your likes online through your business page, there's a few ways you can do it. One of the main ways is you can click the share button, and then this will pop up and it'll say on your own timeline, or you can do it to a group or in a private message, or maybe you're a part of a local charity group as well, and you're a member of their page, you can do that, or on a page you manage. And then you can just write something that says, like, did you know, let's say, follow us today to get the latest, digital marketing tips and tricks. And then you can always, share your contact info in your post as well as you want, and then you would share the page, and then it would go to all your friends. You can make it public, so anyone on Facebook, or I don't know why you'd only want to do you, but you can do that option as well. Another way to help grow your likes is through inviting friends. So to do that, you just click the little three dots and then invite friends, and you can find people through your connections on Facebook and invite them from here as well. I believe there's one other way you can suggest your page. So there's tips and tricks, whether how you can do it here on Facebook, some of the ones that I just showed you, but then also there is, like I said, ways that you can do this offline as well. But great question, so thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I was trying to remember. There's a tool, I was just looking it up, but it made me think. There's like Wishpond, and there's a few other tools that if you Google it, they actually help you determine who's liking your page. And it, let's say you want to run a contest that says, okay, once a month we're going to choose whoever likes our page in this month will get, a $50 gift card or something. So, again, like I'm drawing a blank on it, trying to look it up, but there's a tool called Wishpond and then a few others, but if you Google it, just like Facebook sweepstakes or contest apps will show you some of these tools. It'll actually randomly select these people who've liked your page within a given time, and then pick a random one, and then you can, understand, and then you can actually just say, oh, you're the winner, and this helps you get a bunch of likes. You can do this around Christmas time, and help draw attention to your page. Just drawing a blank on what that's called, but just thought of that, and that's going to be helpful too. What other questions do we have?
Oh, we've got a mixture of different questions. One of the questions that have come up a few times is people are asking about writing content or posting content on their Facebook personal page versus their business page. So just like general best practices on that.
So I would just, if you're going to post things to do with your business, just do it on your business page and then share it on your personal page. That way you don't run into any problems with compliance if you do it the other way around. If you do whatever you want on your promotional page because you're used to it, and then you share it via your business page as is, it may not be compliant and you're going to run into some trouble there. So I would just focus on the business page and what works there, and then share it with your personal page. So anyone who hasn't liked your page already in your followers will see it on your personal page as well, and then they'll say, oh, I know that person. They have an insurance company. I'm going to like their business page that way. So I would just do it in that order so that you don't run into compliance, because that's the biggest obstacle I know for insurance agents.
Facebook itself has like their own policy about posting business-related content on your personal page. You should use your business page for that. So thanks for that. Another question, which is a really good one, and one of the agents asked, I said, that's a great question. I didn't want to answer it because I wanted you to answer it. What is kind of the rule of thumb when it comes to posting content? So, thinking about where your insureds are and who are the people that are following you, are you going to do like 80-20, like 80% insurance-related topics and 20% personal, or more educational or fun? What do you think is the best kind of rule of thumb for that, Chris?
Yeah, the 80-20 rule that we mentioned is, a good answer, but more specific to you, you need to just figure out by Twitter, by your Facebook analytics, like what posts generate the most interest, because it's going to change for every agent. I mean, depending on where you live, your demographics of your surrounding area, some people may be more, aware of, certain news topics that are trending. So you may be more engaging if you post trending topics. But if you're in a rural area like where I'm from, where no one knows what's going on in the world, then, trending topics may not be that effective. No one will know what you're talking about. So you might as well just post your promotional material and do it fewer times. Again, depending on your audience, maybe some people engage, more often if you post less. So it really depends on the agent. There's not like an umbrella answer. The 80-20 rule is sort of an umbrella answer, but that's just 80% entertaining educational content, 20% promotional. Depending on your audience is really the answer of what you want to break down the educational and entertaining and promotional, because like I showed you in analytic for Twitter, it actually shows you their high school or college education and their income, so if, they all have master's degrees and make $1 million, they may want to hear super educational things because they always want to learn more. But if they, not to say that no one who just gets a high school diploma only wants to know so much, you may cater to certain audiences with simpler material that they can digest easier, instead of overwhelming them with these, long articles they found from a third party that they don't care about. So it really just depends on your audience, I think.
Great. Thank you so much, Chris, for answering that. I know we're kind of wrapping it up, so agents and staff members, if you have questions, go ahead and put them through. Question is about curating content. Is there other tools besides Feedly that you would recommend?
I use Google News. That you can actually choose what topics you also are interested in, and it will automatically select based on their algorithm and your behavior what topics you engage in, and they'll say, recommended for you are these articles, and you can select if you like them. You can filter them by category, but there's Google News, and I only personally use Feedly and Google News. What other ones can you think of?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't use Google News. I just will sometimes see what's on my news feed in terms of Facebook. So that could be another avenue as well that you can look at for curating content. Sometimes a lot of publications have a Facebook business page as well. Like one of the ones that I follow personally is Elite Daily, because they're geared a little bit towards more of the millennials and giving different tips and tricks through life and whatever, savings, finances, and so on and so forth. But scouring Facebook to see what some of your favorite publication pages, that they have, and follow.
They're posting on social media and reshare as well. But outside of that,
I definitely would. I mainly use Feedly because of its integration with Buffer. Not to say that you can't use Google News or do a simple search in Google to see what other curation tools. But I know for us and for some other people within the industry, some marketing folks, they've definitely used Feedly to their advantage as well. Some tools like a Hootsuite, which is getting a little bit more advanced, they have some content suggestions, so that's a way to curate content, but again, Hootsuite is super duper advanced. If you're just getting started with social media, I would recommend looking on different pages on social media like Facebook and following them there, or Feedly, or like Chris said, Google News is a good option as well.
Thank you, Jackie. Okay, so I know there's other questions about where I can get images from, how do I brand myself with images. So I just sent this over to one of the agents here, or our webinar attendees, was we recommend Canva. Canva is a great way to do that. So I don't know if you want to talk about that because you're a Canva expert.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Jackie and I love Canva. It's like our child together, and we've seen it grow from a website in beta all the way to a website that updates every day that we can't keep up with. But actually, we did a webinar on content for images and tools to use your own graphics or make branded material, and we can share with you, if you haven't found it already, the webinars on those illustrations. Oh, there you go. Sandra's actually sending the link to the webinar deck about, or to the person who asked. But for anyone who's curious who hasn't seen the webinar, you should check it out. It's how to make awesome photos for your business, and it has a demo in it as well, how to use Canva. And Canva is just a website, I'm talking about it without explaining it to those who don't know. It's a website where you have templates for every social media page and basically anything you want to create that's a graphic, like a postcard or flyer, and they're pre-templated with certain dimensions so they can fit into all these, these materials. So it's a drag and drop website where you upload photos and you can drag and drop from their galleries, whatever icons or text or other graphics that you want to use, and it's super easy to manage, and then it's all saved under your profile, so you can go back and edit anything and change it without having to start from scratch. And again, that webinar on how to create awesome photos, done maybe like a month or two ago, is available. Sandra can send it out, and if you email us, she and all of us will help you get to that. But Canva, Canva.com, is the website that we keep talking about.
You have to email us or log into your website manager and look under the resources, because there is some proprietary and confidential information on there, such as your website manager. So we can't just I can't just provide it to you at this moment. If you want it, email it to us or go into your website manager, look under resources. There's a video tab there, and it should be accessible there.
Yeah, and come to think of it, the webinar also covered, copyright. So, Wikimedia Commons was a website that we recommended to find stock photos. There's also Pexel and Death to Startup Photos, or it's drawing a blank on me what the actual websites are because I made a webinar on it, so check that out. But the one I definitely know off the top of my head is Canva. But yeah, there's a whole bunch of free stock photo websites that we covered in the webinar that you can check out so you don't run into compliance issues. Well, you still will keep compliant, but you won't run into copyright issues.
Right. One last question.
Sure.
So I had an agent ask a couple times about what's Bitly.
Okay, so Bitly is a website where, you have a link, and the link to your blog, let's say, may have like farmersagent.com / 10 ways that I think you should check out my website because it's awesome. But that link is huge. That entire URL is going to exceed the character limit on Twitter by itself. So if you have posts or links that you want to share on Twitter, let's say, where there is a character limitation, you want obviously shorter links. And Bitly is just a website where if you copy a link from your website, from any website even, it will shorten the URL to bit.ly.com or something / and then you can type whatever you want. So you can say like, bit.ly.com / webinar will be the new destination for this page, and it'll be a link that I can share on social media like Twitter or whatnot, but it's not going to actually change the page that you're directing it to. All you're doing is customizing the link and making it shorter so they can share it on social media. So that's all Bitly is.
Great. I think we're 6 minutes over, so we're going to go ahead and start wrapping things up. If we didn't get to any of your questions, again, feel free to call us or email us after today's webinar. We will be sending out today's presentation along with the video recording so you can hear all the commentary throughout the webinar and the answered questions at the end. I do want to call out, though, that if you are eager to get the slides now, you can go into the handout section in the GoToWebinar panel, and you can see that the presentation deck is in there right now for you to download if you don't want to wait. Also, like Chris mentioned, put together a social media holiday content calendar PDF that you can go ahead and download. There's some templates in there for how to create your weekly content schedule, just like we had one. You can have templates for the major holidays for the month of November, December, and January, as well as some posting ideas for what you can share on social media. So again, you can access that through the handouts, but in case you don't want to download it right now, we will be sending out both along with the video recording. So seeing that we're 7 minutes past 2, again, feel free to contact us with any questions that we weren't able to answer today, but thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Chris and Sandra, for a wonderful webinar session today. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Jackie, too, and Sandra. And thank you, audience, and tune in next time and have a happy Thanksgiving.